The Russian Defense Ministry says it has finished pulling its troops out of Ukraine's Kherson region, and that means Ukrainian forces are retaking the area. This retreat marks another setback for Moscow's war on Ukraine. Ukraine's National Police releasing video showing destroyed homes and ruined buildings from a newly retaken village in that region. Investigative units are working to detect any evidence of Russian war crimes there. Russia's illegal war has raged on against Ukraine for 9 months now, with concerns spiking in recent weeks about the use of nuclear weapons, with the fighting edging closer and closer to the nuclear facilities in Zaporizhia. Now concerns are focused out in the Arctic Sea and what President Putin may be testing there. Congressman John Garamendi with me now live. He's on the House Armed Services Committee and the chairman of the Readiness Committee. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning and happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day to you. My understanding is that over the last week, the U.S. has observed naval vessels preparing for a possible test of a nuclear-powered torpedo, perhaps a Poseidon. What's your take on what's happened?
Well, we do know that Putin is in trouble. His military has performed very, very poorly. He's losing this war. And the concern is that a desperate man might do some desperate things. He's clearly proven himself to be incapable of managing a war. Would he take the ultimate step of using a nuclear weapon? Probably not. But nonetheless, we all need to be prepared. And the Biden administration has been very, very clear about what would be the reaction of the entire world should Putin even think about it. With regard to his various delivery systems, torpedoes or airplanes or rockets or whatever, yes, he does have them, but frankly, they haven't been very successful.
The Belgorod submarine is what would most likely be launching the Poseidon if that is the route he took. Given the propulsion systems, this is a torpedo with virtually limitless range. Is this to fire targets in this war against Ukraine? Is this just to raise the ire of the U.S.? And if so, what should our response be?
Well, I do know that the military is very, very well prepared to deal with underseas warfare. This Poseidon missile is not dissimilar from a submarine, obviously smaller, but we have very good defenses against all of that. The bottom line of this is to use a nuclear weapon of that, where are you going to use it? Well, you would use it against a port city. What port city are we talking about? Are we talking about a port city in the Black Sea? No, that makes no sense whatsoever. Are we talking about using it against one of our allies, or even us? You want a full-blown nuclear war? I don't think Putin, as crazy as he is, would even contemplate that. So I think he's just, once again, rattling his nuclear saber, trying to gain some advantage in the political world or to scare the world into submission. Obviously, his military has been unsuccessful in dealing with the Ukraine military. So our military is perfectly prepared to deal with whatever may happen.
Monday, President Biden is going to have a meeting with President Xi Jinping, the first of his term in the White House. There's been a lot of tension with China over trade, but also China's support for Russia with this invasion of Ukraine. Why is it helpful to have this meeting now, and what are you hoping comes out of it?
Well, this is an extremely important meeting. Clearly, our relationships with China are not good. We are clearly supporting Taiwan. China does not like that at all. They want us to back off and to abandon Taiwan. We're not going to do that. And therefore, there needs to be clarity between these two leaders as to where we are and where what China wants to achieve. We know they want to take over Taiwan. They say not to worry, it can be semi-independent. Well, they said the same thing about Hong Kong, and now they've totally suppressed all civil liberties and freedoms in Hong Kong. They would clearly do the same in Taiwan. So that's probably the principal subject matter. Obviously, the South China Sea remains an area of contention. The United States said this is an open sea. We're not going to allow China to dictate what happens in the South China Sea. And we continue to build our alliances with the Philippines, Vietnam, Japan, and other countries in the area. And that'll be carried out by Biden when he gets to the G20 which will be taking place in Bali.
We just wrapped up the midterms with you beating your opponent handily, pulling in more than 74% of the vote. But as the vote tallies get closer to being finalized across the country, it looks like we will have a Speaker McCarthy with Republicans taking control of your chamber. What does that portend for the rest of the Biden presidency?
Well, Cherie, I think your crystal ball is very, very cloudy. It's not at all clear that the Democrats will lose control of the House of Representatives. Clearly, the odds are not in our favor, but that door is still open. And here in California, there are several races that have not yet been decided. Similarly, around the nation, if we can carry the seats that are presently leaning towards us, we, the Democrats, will remain in power, and McCarthy will have to wait another 2 years.
Already, Americans are still upset about the economy, even though inflation is getting better, gas prices are dropping, and that did have a huge effect on the election. Why does it seem like the message of what this administration has done to support struggling families may not be getting through?
Well, I think you said it correctly. It may not be getting through, but at the same time, we have full employment. It has been a decade since we've had full employment, even in the Obama administration, and certainly in the Trump administration, there was not full employment. There are jobs out there, many, many jobs. The minimum wage has moved upward in most states, not everywhere. We want to do that at the federal level. And wages are actually increasing. Yes, inflation is a problem, but really we need to take a look at where that inflation is coming from. Clearly, the war in Ukraine is a major piece of it. The additional spending that was done in the American Rescue Plan is a piece of it, but also we need to consider the extraordinary price gouging that's being done by the major companies in America. The oil industry has never had such record profits as it has now. Amazon, other companies, similarly, even the auto rental companies are having extraordinary profits well above what has been normal in their industries. So that's another piece of this. So what we have here is an opportunity for the nation to see long-term economic growth. We are bringing down inflation. That is happening. It will be brought down over this coming year. And when the infrastructure bill, the CHIPS Act, which will rebuild the American integrated circuit, CHIPS, that will be done. And also with the Inflation Reduction Act, which will seriously reduce the cost for health care, particularly for seniors. Drug prices will be negotiated. And finally, we will move forward on a clean energy system. And all of that is out there in our future. It is a good future for America.
And we'll have to see how the voters metabolize those messages and those changes. We're going to have to put a pin in it there. For now, thank you so much for your insight this morning.
Thank you very much.